Hey! So this week I thought I'd try something different and move on from games to films, and I wouldn't be a good nerdy white boy if my first movie video wasn't about Star Wars. And since moving from games to films, I thought I'd bring a new mascot, Jedi Jar Jar Bear. My flatmates actually got me him for my 20th birthday because I'm a grown up now and a bear seems like the perfect thing to do. It's pretty cool, he's lost his lightsaber, but my new mascot. Like so many people before and after me, Star Wars was my gateway to geekiness. I spent a lot of time as a child indoors playing with action figures and pretending I had an invisible lightsaber. But enough about reminiscing, let's have a look at what Star Wars things are in the news. Admiral Akbar in episode 7. Top 5 Admiral Akbar moments.
It's a trap! It's a trap! Our cruisers can't repel firepower of that magnitude. It's a trap! May the Force be with us.
Well, that was short. What else is going on? The Bed, son. Unaltered original trilogy confirmed. Didn't see that one coming. It's not like Disney's milking this nostalgia cow for all it's worth. For a lot of Star Wars fans, this is really big news. The special editions have been a point of contention for years. Fans have tried to cut together their own HD versions that are as close to the original theatrical releases as possible. And the changes George Lucas has made have been mercilessly ripped apart and parodied for years now.
I'm George Lucas, Hollywood's most powerful Ewok. People often say to me, George, why'd you keep going back and tinkering with the original Star Wars films that we all love, just to make them fit in with the new crappy ones that we hate? And you know what I say to them? You're fired. So here's a clip from the original 1977 Star Wars from my brand new, recently improved Special Edition Director's Cut, Director's Edition Cut, Special Edition DVD.
Have you felt it?
Only a master of evil would say that Jar Jar Binks isn't a top bloke.
I've never slagged Jar Jar Binks off. I thought you were the one slagging him off. Jar Jar is my best mate. The world would certainly be a poorer place without good old Jar Jar.
There are all kind of manner of crazy monsters in here.
Yeah, they added even more for the special edition.
Hey, what are you guys doing here?
Well, Darth, you might be the most evil being in the galaxy, but that's one thing we can agree on. Everyone loves Jar Jar.
Personally, I'm a bit on the fence about the whole special editions. As a creator of media or art, the product you release may not be as close to your original vision as you want, whether it's due to time and budget, legal restrictions, or having to collaborate with people and not agreeing on things. I've only made a few videos myself so far, but each of them has things that I would want to go back and change, whether I've just missed them out, or there are things that have cropped up in feedback that I didn't even realise. So, what I'm trying to say is that I like the fact that George Lucas can go back and change his films. Well, I like the idea that he can go back and change his films. In practice, the results are a bit of a mixed bag, to put it lightly. So, here are my best and worst Star Wars changes. This isn't my point entirely about putting something out there and then realising that certain things don't work, especially visually. Films spend so long in post-production nowadays, but a dodgy effect or two can still slip through. Fixing up the effects is like the movie version of patching a video game for bugs. And maybe it's because I'm a video gamer that I don't mind going back and tinkering with things post-release. The problem a lot of people have with CGI is that it will never look as good as a physical object on a set, something like a puppet or an animatronic. But looking at the original Phantom Menace Yoda, that's clearly not the case. He looks like a cabbage scrotum. Don't think anyone's ever said that before, but yeah. he looks like a cabbage scrotum. There's nothing else to say about him. Like, I'm surprised that George Lucas didn't go back and do more with Phantom Menace. There's a lot more that needs to be done. Like, the two aliens, their mouth movements just don't match what they're saying. Oh, and in my high opinion, the puppet singer in Jabbar's band looks so much worse than Phantom Menace Yoda. The CGI version may not be great, but it's miles better. Sorry, not sorry. Sticking with Jabbar, let's talk about his added scene in New Hope. In fact, let's not talk about it, let's just go full on cinema sins. Originally, Jabbar is just built up through his name and reputation across New Hope and Empire, before he actually even appears on screen. Having him pop up here doesn't just undo that, but he's not threatening at all. Han talks down to him and even steps on his tail. The editing to make Han rise up when he steps on Jabba's tail looks like the kind of basic keyframing that even I could pull off. While it's not as bad as the 97 CGI version, Jabba's model looks nothing like how he does in Jedi, and it's basically the one from Phantom Menace. How is it that he looks exactly the same as he did 32 years ago, and nothing like how he looks 3 years later? Was it once he had Han in carbon freezing he just let himself go and got a spray tan? Oh look, there's Boba Fett being here for no other reason than to look at the camera and be like, hey. Scene does not contain a lap dance. Overall, this scene is pointless. It doesn't add anything new to the story. Han even says the same lines here as he does to Greedo. Speaking of Greedo, like, he's right there, even though he got blasted in the last scene. In fact, now is a good time to talk about the Greedo versus Han shooting first debacle. The amount of nerd rage around this one is just ridiculous, and you'd think if George was going to press the undo button on any changes he had made, it would be this one. What bothers me even more than what it does to Han's character is just how sloppy the edits look. What is this, a YouTube channel made in your spare? These are the things I look forward to most when they say that they're doing a new special edition of Star Wars. I love how the CGI can make the world seem more inhabited, alive, and more alien than before. Bespin is a great example because if you lived in a city that floated on the clouds, you'd want to stare out the windows and not walk around dull grey corridors like it was the London Underground. I also quite like the stuff that they added to Mos Eisley. There's nothing wrong with a bit of slapstick, and the busy spaceport looks a lot busier than it did in the original version. Having said that, that creature that walks in front of the camera with its very 1997 era CGI is just so distracting. It's just another case of Lucas going too far. In fact, let's make that his own point. Some of the stuff they add in the new editions of Star Wars just don't make any sense whatsoever, and to top it all off, probably costs more to do than I earn in a year. Look here, when Han runs down this corridor, he encounters a bunch of troopers, who then give chase. Now, he turns a corner and boom, there's like hundreds of them. Sometimes, George, less is more. Less stormtroopers, less midichlorians, less Natalie Portman. Making Jabba and the Ewoks blink. Did anyone ask for this? I'd roll my eyes at this one, but I don't know the effect to do it. Lastly, let's look at these rocks. How does R2 get behind them through that now very small gap? Why do they completely disappear from shot to shot? Why do they really look like they're not there? George, you've created more of a problem than you've solved, and that's a shame because improving continuity is usually one of the special edition's strong points. Love them or hate them, the prequels are a thing that happened, and linking the two trilogies together helps bind the whole saga together more strongly. Redubbing Boba Fett makes sense because he's a perfect clone of his father. What doesn't make sense is for a severe burns victim to still have bushy eyebrows, so Lucas changed it, along with making old Anakin's eye colour the same as young Anakin's eye colour, which is something that Harry Potter completely forgot to do. The best change is replacing the old Emperor hologram with Ian McDiarmid. The makeup guy's wife dubbed with some generic English baddie voiceover and superimposed chimpanzee eyes just can't compare with one of the best actors in all the Star Wars films. People take issue with the added lines about Vader being surprised that Luke is his son, when the opening text scroll states how desperate he is to find Luke, But I think that's just a case of Vader playing dumb because he wants to overthrow his master and not let him catch on. Going back to Return of the Jedi, I really like the additions of the prequel planets and their celebration montage. I'm not sure why Tatooine would be celebrating when they're not under Imperial control in the first place, but who cares? It's a feel-good moment. And if that's Jar Jar shouting, "We are free!" then that basically means he's confirmed for Episode 7, right? Like, I'm not even joking when I say that I really like Jar Jar. Like, I name a bear after him. Another reason I love the celebration montage is the music that replaces the Ewok song. It's just so calming and soothing. It's one of my favourite sequences in the whole series. At least until it comes to this. Ugh. Why? People try and explain this change by saying that this is how Anakin looked when he died, but Anakin Skywalker was reborn when he killed the Emperor, even if he didn't come back for very long. Other people try and explain it as that's how Anakin wants to appear as a ghost, but if that was the case, why wouldn't Obi-Wan want to appear as dashing Ewan McGregor? The whole thing is just made even worse by Hayden Christensen's creepy attempts at smiling. Okay, we've covered practically all of the big changes, the best ones and the worst ones. But there's one more that I've left for last, and for me, it's a combination of the best and the worst. There's that Joe, being all controversial again. To be honest, I can appreciate both ways this scene plays out. Vader saying nothing but letting his actions do the talking, with the turmoil going on inside his head that you can't see because of his mask. That's good stuff. That's really good stuff. But then, I like the way it plays out in the new version too. You still get a few close-ups of that silence, that inner turmoil, but when he does shout out no, he's verbally defying his master along with physically, and that's still powerful stuff. The no in Episode 3 is what marked the death of Anakin and the birth of Darth Vader. And now it's come back around full circle. The problem a lot of people have is obviously that the no is as cheesy as mac and cheese, baked in cheddar cheese, wrapped up in Edam cheese, served with a side of halloumi cheese and some gooey cheese sauce. Cheese. They couldn't take it seriously in Episode 3, and having at the end of Jedi not only kills the drama for people, but it feels like Lucas is trolling them. See, that's kind of why I like it. George must have known that he was going to piss a lot of people off, and I kind of think that's why he did it. It's like they made this meme about the big no in Episode 3, and now he's brought it back as a punchline at the expense of one of the most dramatic scenes in all of Star Wars. It kind of really does amuse me, and I'm sure it amuses George too. And I do also genuinely really like in a film, a game or TV show when a character just feels they have to like hold their arms apart and just no to the sky. It's one of my favourite tropes of all time.
You gotta sell it. Remember, your no is what gets you your next job. Now drop and give me 20. No! Better.
If they set that android free, it will be the end of all of us! No!
And that's why, as unnecessary as Darth Vader's in Return of the Jedi was, I can't hate it. I just can't. So those were my best and worst George Lucas Star Wars Special Edition changes. I'm not trying to say that any version is better than another. I'm not trying to knock anyone's opinion or try to change anyone's mind. Just having a bit of fun with it, really. The cool thing is that once these unaltered versions come out, Star Wars fans are going to have something that's been held back from them, and something other franchises have had for years, which is choice. If you like the special editions, you can watch the special editions. If you like the original versions, you can watch them. And that's great. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you could like, comment, subscribe, share this video, share any of my older videos, that would be absolutely fantastic. So until next time, there's nothing left for me to say apart from goodbye from me and goodbye from Jar Jar Bear, who is... Where is Jar Jar Bear?